question to you is: do you believe that the idea of Libra, the idea of Facebook giving everybody a digital wallet, is going to change the game for Bitcoin or not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, Libra is a massive on-ramp for billions of people to suddenly be using cryptocurrency. Suddenly, everyone and your mother is going to have an electronic wallet. So that's the exciting part about Libra. The scary part about Libra, of course, is that it's this company that none of us trust to hold our photos anymore, is now going to control all of our money. So
and here's the piece of it I don't get. At least as far as I understand it today, and I guess we don't know the answer, and so there's a little bit of betting on what's going to happen. The Facebook electronic wallet, if you will, I'm not sure that that's going to be able to hold or trade Bitcoin. So I may be able to use it for Libra transactions. I'm able to use it for other kinds of crypto. I don't know what kinds of crypto. It may be a wallet that's a Libra only, if you will. So yes, it may expose me to the idea of cryptocurrencies, but if I can't really act, if my mother is using the Facebook app and she can't get Bitcoin, I'm not sure she's ever going to get Bitcoin.
Well, you know, here's the thing. When I'm promoting Bitcoin Billionaires, one of the biggest problems people have with Bitcoin is they have no idea how to get it, how to use it, anything like that. What Libra is going to do is it's going to engage billions of people instantly into how to use digital money. Ben, and I think that's going to change the game. And you're right. You may not be able to use Bitcoin on your Facebook
What's the biggest
account,
appeal of Bitcoin?
You will go buy
in
Bitcoin.
one word, what's the biggest appeal of Bitcoin in one word? I know there's a lot of friction in trying to use it, and I'll never be able to figure it out. I don't know how to use a frickin' USB port.
Well, I mean, it's better than gold.
No,
it's better than gold.
But I'm getting to a point. What's the most? Just hold on for a second. What's the most important thing about Bitcoin that isn't Libra? It's decentralized. That's the biggest feature. That's the biggest selling point. That's what makes anyone who's really zealous about it. That's it. And this is Zuckerberg
Absolutely.
eyes. And that's not going to do it. It's not going to do it for me.
It should strike terror into your heart. You're right. It's not decentralized. It's
because I'm sure it doesn't like me.
Facebook and Uber and eBay are going to have access in the center of it to all of that data that's going back and forth, and that's an enormous amount of data.
No, thank you.
And also, you're right. It's not peer-to-peer.
Exactly. Peer-to-peer, decentralized, distributed.
Look at
all
you become
the
a hodler. Are you a hodler now? You've become a pure Bitcoin.
I get it. I have been told by smart people I'm in like somewhere between the 4th and 5th stage, from intellectually curious to a believer, and then the next stage is an evangelist. I think I'm at believer.
Here's the thing, though, that I'm not sure that Joe's appreciating, and I don't know whether I like Libra or not because it's not out yet. But I think that when you think about the great challenges of Bitcoin, the biggest issue is custody, right? And the biggest issue is if I somehow lose my code, or I lose my thumb drive, if that's where it is, and I don't have my key, that the game is over. And if you're my mother, and I'm sorry to harp on my mother, if my mother loses the key and she can't get at the money, that's like a real problem in the Sorkin household. So until and unless Bitcoin has that feature, and the good news about Libra, I think, again, we don't know what it's going to look like.
Mark Zuckerberg has
there will be somebody to call.
Hi, Mark.
And there will be an arbiter. Now, you could tell me you don't like that arbiter and you think that Mark Zuckerberg isn't the right arbiter. We can have that debate. But there is an element of there are real companies behind this. There are real places you can call when something goes wrong. And that doesn't exist in Bitcoin land.
That's true. But do you trust these companies? Is this the person that you want to be trusting with your bank account, Mark Zuckerberg? You know, that's a question you have to ask yourself. But for little transactions, sure, it's going to make life easier, and it's going to be like having Visa without Visa. You know, it's going to be like that. But it's not the same as Bitcoin. And I think you're right. There's still going to be a generational issue with Bitcoin as we go forward. But this is a massive on-ramp, and I do think this and my book are the reason that Bitcoin keeps rising towards the moon. You know? I like to take credit. But can we just mention one thing? How insane is it that Mark Zuckerberg launches Libra right after the Winklevoss twins launched Gemini? Do you really think that's a coincidence? I mean, is it the ultimate troll going on right here?
But Ben, let me ask you a different question, which is the U.S. governments around the world. You saw the reaction to Libra almost instantaneously in Washington, people saying, okay, we got to press the pause button on this. Governments have a monopoly on fiat currency. It's one of the last things they have a monopoly in, an ability to control things with. The idea that they're going to let these other cryptocurrencies flourish where people can send money completely unencumbered, completely untraceable, completely untaxable. Seems to me at some point there's going to be a fork in the road or a conversation where there is going to be a major pause button being pressed.
I mean, absolutely right. Listen, this is terrifying for governments more than for banks. I mean, this is a form of money they have no control over. They suddenly are getting into this battle with these tech giants over something that is supposed to be something the government has a total stranglehold on, right? Money, fiat currency. So how do they regulate this? How can they possibly regulate something that is without borders, that is instant, that is controlled by these massive tech companies? I think they've got a real problem ahead of them, and I have no idea how they managed to do that.